What is this music? This is nuts. Wild music. I'm wondering too, John. I'm wondering when it drops. Just straight birds chirping. See if I can get something a little better going. That was, okay. 1 second. There we go. I like this one. Tap in, chat. Who's in here? E-Dog's in here. This one kind of bops. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Alright. That was some sensual ass music, boys. How we doing? Cashin with Cam, episode 10 or so. We cashing. Big time cashing. We're here. I started kind of on time this go around. Pretty nuts. You know, I do it for you guys. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hags here, E's here, Sam, John. John, I need some more hockey picks. I had an exhilarating night last night, betting on pucks. I had Philip Forsberg over 3.5 shots on some real degenerate behavior. T-Par's in here. I had something else last night that was ice related. I had some parlay that it flopped big time. And then I had the Preds Vancouver under. All the good games were yesterday. Yeah, what's John, what are your thoughts on the NHL Red Zone Frozen Frenzy? Pretty cheesy name. but honestly, kind of cool. I don't know how many times a season every team plays because it was all 32, right? Or am I wrong about that? That's how they advertised it. But Mattress Mac is not cashing once again. I mean, you hit one of the. I mean, the Stros have been consistent enough to where he's hit enough of those to where I'm sure he was already sitting on a good sum. But World Series next, yeah, I got the D-backs lid on. I think bad name, but it was pretty good. I was watching it yesterday. I didn't get to tune into it. I was watching Lakers Nuggets, which was a pretty good game. Um, I believe the Lakers ended up losing that one, but it was kind of back and forth there for a little while, and then the Nuggets pulled away. NBA's back. I've got the Grizzlies on. Grizzlies Pels. No Ja Morant for 25 games, which is brutal. But this is the best time of the year. This is the best time of the year. We've got MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL, college football all at once. October rules. But yeah, I do have the D-backs lid on. Big fan of them beating the Fighting Phils. Um, to preview this series is tough. I mean, I would have never told you at the start of the year that Arizona would make it. Rangers have a pretty big payroll, and they did a lot during the offseason. Obviously, ended up bringing Scherzer in down the stretch. He wasn't crazy good anyway, but for them in the playoffs so far. But brought Degrom in. Of course, he got hurt. I mean, the guy hasn't played a full season since Nam. But um, I think the Rangers are kind of the clear favorite in the series. I don't know if the Diamondbacks are ready yet. I mean, I love some of their pieces. Perdomo is super fun to watch. I like Corbin Carroll. Um, so I mean, they've got Zach Gallen is really really good. So they've got some guys, but Seager. I mean that the Rangers lineup is just dangerous. Seager, Lowe, Simeon. Um, sus for me to say Seaman there. Pause. Um, but I'm my early pick is the Rangers. Pretty impressive how the Diamondbacks came back and won those last two games. Um, so you never know. Baseball's fun. October baseball's fun. D-backs time to shine. I mean, I like both. Honestly, I think it's going to be a fun series. Um, Baseball's got to do something about this whole 5-day layoff thing. You've got the best team in baseball this year, the Braves, out in the first round. Well, CS or DS, sorry. Orioles got swept. They hadn't been swept all year. They get swept in their playoff series, which they probably weren't ready either, honestly. Um, Dodgers out in the first round. So it's odd teams getting in. I could have, I really thought the Stros were probably going to do it again. Dusty Baker retired today. He's a legend. Um, but the Stros are done. Phillies are done. Two very hated teams, I feel like, by people outside of those fan bases. So I think most everyone is pretty happy with the way that this turned out. But I'm excited. I'm excited about the World Series. Kind of reminds me of that Cubs World Series back in whenever that was, 17 maybe. You're kind of pulling for the Cubbies the whole time to get their first ring in forever. So either one of these teams wins, and I'm pretty satisfied. Obviously, I'm kind of leaning towards the Rangers because I really like Nate Lowe. Played at State for a little while, so um, your boys got the sorority girl potion going right now. No money about cried when the Astros lost. Yeah, I kind of forget she's like a Texas sports fan. Um, got the sorority girl potion, the Chick-fil-A, and the quad. Now I've been going PSL, but your boy's a little low E today. Your boy's a little low E. Um, little low motivation, to be honest. So I had to go quad espresso with the pumpkin cream foam. I, but it's delicious. OSU #1, no doubt. Ohio State. Is that what we're saying? Um, yeah, let's go. Let's get into it. I'm gonna throw the number up. Lord knows what's gonna happen once the number is up. But I got through my first intro spiel, so whatever happens, happens. Call into the show 601-706-9475. I can confidently say I have not been catching up on my cricket since the last time I spoke with our friend in India. So if he calls in, it's just going to be another just straight up stat off. We're talking wickets, um, you know, bowlers. I can't remember the other terms that were discussed. Um, Ethan, you did say you had Ethan, you said you had a path for Ole Miss, so I'll be interested to hear that once we get to them here in a little while. You can go ahead and cook that up if you'd like, but um, let's see, Yeah, Michigan is really good. Ohio State will be unstoppable when we get Igbuka Hendersonburg. I haven't watched a lot of Ohio State. I bet against them. I've bet against them twice, and they've beat me twice. So, um, there's that. Brutal. Probably should stop betting against Ohio State. Um, yeah, the State Arkansas game. We'll talk about it, but that was probably my worst over bet of my career. I think it was like at 48 and a half. I did. I had watched Arkansas and I knew they weren't any good, but I'd also watched State, and I don't know. Like, I didn't anticipate State just destroying Arkansas's offensive line the way they did. Uh, um, it was kind of wild that game. Um, Almost as bad as MSU and Auburn 3-2. Yeah, yeah, it was not fun to watch. It was not fun to watch. I guess Mike Wright will be back. But anyway, I'm not talking dogs for the rest of the season. Look, I mean, these next games are gettable. The next games are gettable. Have you saw ESPN college football playoff predictions? I haven't seen them. I'll pull up. I guess they haven't come out with the first college football playoff rankings, have they? I don't know for sure. Let's see. When do they usually do that? I mean, we're pretty deep into the season. I mean, we're 9 weeks in. I feel like the first college football playoff ranking should come out. Internet is going geezer mode. For those wondering, Sam has left me to my own devices. He's letting me fly on my own. So right now, I guess this is probably the AP poll. Yeah. AP poll has Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and Florida State in. They've got the two other undefeateds, Washington and Oklahoma, right behind them. And then you've got Texas, Oregon, Alabama, and Penn State, and a laundry list of others. Ole Miss #12 at 6-1. Oregon State at 6-1. They might be in trouble this weekend. I'll get into that. Utah 6-1. It is pretty nuts that Utah is 6-1 right now, without their best player, Cam Rising. Georgia should be out of top 10. That's strong. That is strong. Yeah, Georgia has been. I think Beck is really unimpressive, honestly. Um, we'll see what they do this weekend against Florida in the world's largest cocktail party. Um, but you know, I'm not. I haven't been super high on Georgia when I've watched their games. But I think you gotta leave them there for now. I think you could justify putting Michigan above them. But Ohio State at 3 is fine with me. Florida State, you know, they beat Duke, covered against Duke. Obviously Clemson, and they really don't have a ton of tests left. Florida State. I think obviously they're going to have Miami and Florida, I guess, to wrap up the season. Um, both of those games, you know, I think could be where you see Florida State take an L. They've got Wake Forest this weekend, Pitt, who's really bad. I mean, they're down. And then Miami, North Alabama, and Florida to finish the year. Um, I think it's pretty. It's obvious that either Michigan or Ohio State is going to end the year with at least one loss when they play each other at the end. You know, I could see Florida State losing one of those games. Um, Ohio State at 3. I mean, the Penn State win is impressive, I guess, but Penn State went into that game also really not proven that they deserved. What rank? They were 5 going into that game. I think Ohio State generally has a really flashy offense and it has picked up in recent weeks. Um, you know, but you look at their schedule. The Maryland win was nice. I think the first game of the year, Indiana, they started off pretty slow against Indiana. Western Kentucky's not very good. You know, the Notre Dame game is nice. You know, won at the last second there. Um, Maryland was 5-0 when you beat them. Purdue's down, and you know Penn State put up 12 points. I wouldn't say Georgia's schedule has been all that much more impressive, but I think the voters just have them there. To be honest, people are really freaking out about Bowers. I mean, I can't think of a lot of teams where your tight end being out is going to tank your season. Um, you know, he's coming back, but I mean, people are talking about them losing this game against Florida or Ole Miss because Bowers is out. I don't understand why there's so much emphasis on Bowers. I mean, he's good. He's really good, but he's done for the year. I heard 6 weeks, like playoff time. I guess he'd be back. So I guess that didn't really help him. But either way, you know, I think everyone's going to give. I think everyone's going to give Georgia the nod until they prove otherwise. Obviously, that Auburn game was atrocious by them, um, and then they come back and smoke Kentucky, and I think that kind of got them back in the good graces of the voters. For Heisman, I think Penix Jr. right now. Um, yeah, I don't understand why he ever. I don't get why Bowers ever got Heisman hype. I mean, they're running like jet sweeps and stuff with him, which is kind of unheard of with a tight end. So that's cool and all, but I didn't get it, and I don't. This might be a cold take, and I'll probably regret it, but I don't see him just dominating the NFL. I don't see him dominating the NFL. I may be wrong, but I think you're going to see him play like a Kyle Pitts role, and we've seen how that has worked out for Kyle Pitts. He kind of picked it up against who they play this weekend, the Bucks. He had a few catches, but yeah, I like Penix Jr. for Heisman right now. I think Caleb Williams is kind of done. 2 losses. Um, I still can't get over the Utah team. I mean, Utah is unreal. I mean, Ohio State. There's you know, Ohio State always seems to have somebody in the mix. So, and obviously Marvin Harrison is a big name. So, I wouldn't put it past the committee to do that. And he's been balling. He's been balling for sure. Um, but yeah, I'd probably put Washington's quarterback there right now. He's getting a lot of hype. So, um, Jaden Daniels. Yeah, if they win that Florida State game, I think yeah. Um, Bo, yeah, Bo's not going to win. He's actually reached the age limit. Um, they can't give it to a 38-year-old. Um, Caleb Williams is overhyped. Yeah, I think people are starting to realize that a little bit. I mean, that last game, Utah took them down to the wire. I mean, they did score points, but are they still USC still ranked? Yeah. James Madison at 25 is nuts. It's pretty funny. Good for them. I mean, they're 7-0, so can't really dispute it at this point. Air Force 7-0. I had so a little betting, just kind of a betting um, trend that I'm following. Service schools unders are like 49-12 over the past 5 years or something like that. So I've just been riding those. It's an automatic play for me. It won last weekend, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. NFL bust vibes. I don't know if Caleb Williams will be a bust, but I don't think he deserves the hype. Let's see what happened last week. We're chirping today, boys. I needed the energy. I was low on the energy coming in here today. Um, let's see. I had Rutgers -6. They covered against Indiana. No dir. Penn State did not cover. Mississippi State did not go over. Um, Tennessee Bama went over. I flip flopped on the show, so lost that one. Dum dum. Duke did not cover against Florida State. They were in that game the whole time. Didn't cover. Brutal. Utah, obviously, they were +7. Should have hit the money line up. Miami, I did hit the money line up. They covered +3. I had the spread and the money line in that game. Air Force under. Air Force versus Navy went under 34. It was the score was 23. They combined for 23. Oregon, Washington State over 60 was a lock. I had Michigan -24.5 against Michigan State. It was 49-0. Yeah. So we were cashing. We went about 500. That's just gonna be it. Some weeks you're gonna go 500. Someone's asking Zach if you're in here. The record's around 500, my man. But that underdog record, though, don't sleep. Don't sleep. Your boy's 3K up on the year. That's all I can say. Your boy is 3K up on the year, and I've got one going right now. Who else has gotten on their underdog grind? It's the most addicting app, probably. Probably on the App Store, and it's free. Who'd have thunk? I need Kristaps Porzingis to get some boards. Good grief. Let's get into the games. We're 26 minutes in. Call into the show 601-706-9475. Call in, let me know. Everybody seems to have some takes out there right now. I like it. Let's get into this one. As Hag said, a real barn burner of a game. 7-3. Again, just nuts that KJ could not do anything. His offensive line was so bad in that game. He made some plays with his legs, but you got to give some credit to Mississippi State's defense. I mean, their offense, Arkansas's offense hasn't looked that bad against anybody. I mean, they put up more points against A&M, LSU. I mean, they played way better against better opponents, I would say. And for them to do that at home, just lay an egg at home, I think Pittman is for sure done. I don't see how they bring Pittman back. Um, you know, that or order him a brazier. Um, but I think big picture, my bet for Arkansas's next head coach is going to be Gus. Um, I think the Gus bus is rolling through. It's leaving UCF, and he's an Arkansas guy, so I could definitely see that coming uh, for the Hogs. Get him back in the SEC. Um, they gave a little scare to Oklahoma over the weekend, so got a little hype around them, and I think Arkansas is just so out on Pittman, especially after that. I mean, 3 points at home against Mississippi State without an SEC win. That was your chance to get an SEC win at home if you're Arkansas, and trickled down their leg a little bit. For State, obviously the high point is defense. That's really as much as you can say. I would love to see him let Mike Wright run the ball a little bit more. That's his strong suit. And I think they will this week. I don't think they'll have a choice. Auburn is really tough at home. Really, really tough at home. Um, Obviously, they played Ole Miss pretty tight there for 3-ish quarters, 2.5-ish quarters. Um, then Ole Miss kind of pulled away there towards the end. But the score, did Ole Miss cover in that game? I didn't have the line, I don't think. I mean, 28-21, they lost by a touchdown. I think it was 6.5. So Ole Miss covered by half a point in that game. Auburn played pretty well. Their offense was matching scores with Ole Miss for a little while. Um, but I think this game is just coming down to the defense. I mean, this is going to be a slobber knocker. Just, you know, 3 yards and a cloud of dust. The boys are going to be banging pads. Uh, might have to get the equipment staff to straighten out some face masks after this game. I think 43 is too many. Um, I think it could remain close throughout the game, or Auburn could pull away and State not score at all. Um, but I could also see it, another 3-2. Are we going to see another 3-2? It's honestly a possibility. Thorne's okay for Auburn. The other guy's name escapes me. But they keep running that, two quarterback system, which the Titans are going to implement in the NFL this weekend with Levis and Malik Willis. That'll be fun to watch. But yeah, I think I think under 43.5 is the play. Um, you might sprinkle the points for State. This is, to me, this and Kentucky are their gettable games. Kentucky's at home. Auburn, pretty high emotional game last week against Ole Miss. Obviously, Hugh facing his former team. Wasn't the first time he had played them. I believe they went to Oxford when he was with Liberty. But back-to-back home games for Auburn. Lost that one tough last week. Probably not as electric of an atmosphere. Sorry, I just blew up your eardrums with my cough. State coming in, no one expects much from them. I like the under. State's got to keep it close with their defense. Moving on to the other team in the state. I mean, we know the result of this game pretty much year in and year out. 24.5 is a pretty big number. I mean, that's not one you see in the SEC very often. these teams get together every year. I think that's going to change with the new schedule. Ole Miss will be sad if that happens, but yeah, I mean 24 and a half. What do you have to say? I mean, it's probably too many points, but at the same time, it could be literally 60 to nothing. Vandy hasn't been able to stop anybody. Appreciate the emojis. I don't know. I don't know if that does anything for me, but appreciate that. Um, hey, if you haven't already, like the video, like the show, subscribe to the show. If we get enough subs, I'm going to make some merch, and we're gonna be cashing. We're gonna be cashing out and about cashing. We're gonna be out in the world cashing. Okay. So if I can get my subs up, I think I'm at 37, trying to get to 50. Big goal. Big goal. I want you guys to help me get there. I'm counting on you. Like the video. Like the video. Like the video. If you're watching right now and the little thumb thing is in front of you, just go ahead and like it. Go ahead and like it. Ole Miss wins this game, obviously. The over-under's at 63 and a half. I mean, Vegas doesn't want anyone to touch this game, I guess. But if I was going to have to bet on it, I would just pick. I guess I'd lay the points, or I guess I'd take the minus 24 and a half. I hate that line. I mean, that line is untouchable. Because you would bet it. Ole Miss would win by 24 points, and you would just feel like a dingus. LSU isn't playing MSU next year for the first time since World War II. That's nuts. That is nuts. Is my graphic still not going up? Oh, no, I'm behind the times here. Excuse my ignorance. Ethan, you said you had a path for Ole Miss. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, I mean, Vandy, we all know Vandy stinks. When are we getting to cricket? That all depends on our guy. I've got to get his name again because I truly can't remember his name. But let's see here. Oh gosh. Just a regular ringtone. Ethan.
Let's go.
There he is. What's up?
What's up?
Man, what are you
Hold
doing?
on.
Go ahead.
Oh, we Cashin.
Yeah, we are. We are. I was looking forward to you calling in. You hadn't called in before. This is electric.
Okay, I got two takes.
Two takes. Let's hear them.
Take Auburn, take Auburn, take Auburn.
Okay.
Mississippi State's atrocious this year.
Can't argue that.
And I don't talk much about the school up north, but I do have a little take. I was with some Ole Miss people Saturday night. The best thing for them is Alabama went out. They went out. They beat Georgia, which is a long shot, but they beat Georgia. Alabama, Georgia play in the SEC championship. One of them loses. Ole Miss squeaks in as the 4 seed and plays whoever's the 1 seed.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously the hardest thing about that is Ole Miss beating Georgia, but it's not inconceivable.
It's not. Georgia is a little more beatable this year than they've ever been the past 4 years. So,
I mean, if you're Ole Miss, you're kicking yourself for not beating Bama. I mean, they're at their lowest offensive, capacity they've ever been at. Ole Miss, a high-flying offense, and they couldn't get it done. 10 points on the road at Bama. You got to be looking back at that, thinking you could have controlled your own destiny, even if you lose to Georgia.
You played a Milrow who really could only run the ball at that point in the season, and your defense just couldn't stop the run, couldn't stop the QB run. Just embarrassing.
Well, I agree with your path for Ole Miss. I mean, it'll be interesting on whether or not they can beat Georgia at Georgia. But if it happened, you would think Ole Miss would be pretty much guaranteed in. and they don't have to play an SEC championship game. So kind of an easy road if you think about it. They don't have to play that game.
Exactly.
They let Georgia and Alabama beat each other up, and then they're in the playoff.
Exactly.
Season
Well, that's all I had, Cam.
season in. Who do you think your four are? I mean, do you have Ole Miss in there, or is that just a theory?
No, that's just a long shot. That's just to give Ole Miss fans a glimmer of hope.
Just to have it crush.
It depends on what comes out of this Michigan stuff, I think. I don't know exactly. I haven't been keeping up with it a whole lot. But I think, either them or Ohio State for sure.
Yeah.
I think Washington squeaks in somehow, just because I don't know if they play anybody, for the rest of the season. And I think the committee always throws in one of those teams that doesn't really play anybody, but it's undefeated just so they can get their butt whooped. I don't know. It's a possibility. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up with it. College football is at the back of my mind during deer season.
College football is probably at its lowest point right now with all the conferences being realigned and stuff. I feel like people care less about college football these days
Exactly.
than in years past. But yeah, I could see them definitely giving the nod to a Pac-12 team in the end. I mean, Washington's got USC, Utah, Oregon State, Washington State left on their schedule. I'm sorry, Washington has USC, Utah, Oregon State, Washington State. So there's a chance they drop one of those and they're out, But it'll be interesting to see.
If they're undefeated.
Yeah, if they're undefeated, they'll get in for sure after beating Oregon. And if they beat those other teams, honestly, they will have a good enough resume to get in. But I think it's Michigan or Georgia. I mean, at the end of the day.
For sure. That's the only two teams that are really good enough to represent college football in the championship. But if Georgia does get beat by Ole Miss, then they probably are done. I don't know. The committee just likes the high-flying offense, the Lane Kiffin style offense. So I think that if they win, if they beat Georgia, then they're in. But that's a long shot.
Ole Miss, Ohio State, or Florida State in the playoff would be pretty fun. I'll say that.
It would be.
Georgia, Michigan would be kind of boring, I think. So they'd probably put Georgia up against, either Ole Miss or Florida State if they got there, Michigan, and then you'd see Georgia and Michigan in the final. So it's all roads lead to that.
Yep, exactly.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you calling.
All right, bud.
All right. So Ethan giving a little glimmer of hope to the Rebs. I agree with him. Washington goes undefeated. They're in probably. I don't see how you could keep them out. I don't think Oklahoma is going to go undefeated. I'll get to that here in a little while. But Ole Miss has a shot. Ole Miss, you gotta say for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, once they get to this 12-man playoff, there's a chance they're in pretty consistently. I mean, there's a chance Ole Miss is in this playoff year in and year out. I don't know what they finished at last year, but they could definitely be playing in the college football playoff pretty consistently moving forward. So if you're an Ole Miss fan, at least you get to look forward to that. But I don't think it's happening this year. I don't think they beat Georgia. Speaking of Georgia, they've got the Gators this weekend in Jacksonville. Dean, you said something else. I have Vandy plus 24.5. I don't know why. Yeah, anytime you see that kind of number, you kind of gravitate towards it as well, but I'm just going to stay away. Grizzly season prediction. Well, let's see. They're losing by 15 right now to the Pels at home. Obviously, without Ja Morant. We lost Steven Adams for the year. So Xavier Tillman, I believe, is starting at center. Outlook's not great for the Grizz right now. Marcus Smart, the new addition to the team. It's going to have to be Desmond Bain carry for these first 25 games. And then from there, you just hope Ja comes back and is right. Doesn't pull out any more guns on the Indiana Pacers. Jaren Jackson, obviously All Star caliber, Defensive Player of the Year, that sort of thing. But um, we're gonna have to score some points. And Marcus Smart is not necessarily my idea of a true point guard that's going to go out there and help us score. But he just threw a dime to Bane, corner three. So, we'll see. They'll gel together a little bit better, I'm sure, as the season goes on. But without Ja right now, it's kind of hard to tell, honestly. Um, but I'm going to support him either way. Been a Grizz fan for years now. It's kind of crazy. Getting into Georgia, Florida. Georgia minus 14 and a half. I feel like that has been a pretty consistent line for Georgia this year. They've been sitting around 14 every game. I know the Kentucky game was 14 and a half. Maybe a couple others. I can't remember. I haven't bet a ton on Georgia this year just because they've looked so inconsistent. They've started games so odd. Um, and maybe Bowers truly does impact them in a crazy way. I don't know um, how that could be, but maybe. Um, Over under at 47 and a half. I love the over. I love the over. I think Florida is going to pull out all the stops in this game, and as we've seen, I mean Georgia fires back. They get into a bind and they come back and they do what they need to do to win the game. I would love to see Florida score 20 points in the first half in this game, and then just have Georgia, um, you know, come back and try to win it in the second half because they probably will, and that means more points. 47 and a half. I love that. It's going to be I think it's going to be a fun game. Um, my first inclination of this game was Florida was probably going to get skull drug, but you just can't. We got to eliminate the Utah game out of our memories because that was a Florida team that was not ready to play in that game. I think you got to give them a little bit more credit these days because Mertz is they've fit the offense around Mertz now, and I think Billy Napier is a good play caller. I think he's going to take some risks, and you might see Georgia down early in this game, which would be pretty interesting. Especially everyone's view on Florida is that they are so bad. I don't think they're terrible. I really don't think they're terrible. But I mean Napier, if you'd have asked anybody if Napier was going to make it through the season after that Utah game, they would have said no. But Utah's defense is unreal. I mean, unreal Utah defense. They're beating teams solely with their defense right now, and it's pretty impressive to watch, honestly, especially in the Pac-12. RIP, RIP Pac-12. Praying Zion finally stays healthy, dude. Zion is, that's not going to happen. Zion is, I mean, it's unexplainable. He's got an injury last season, all of last season, yet he's doing 360 dunks in the layup line before games. That guy doesn't want to play. He does not want to play. If I was the Pels, I'd let him get off to a decent start this year and trade him like ASAP. Just get some pieces for him and move on. I know that's like a crazy thing to trade your, first round pick from I guess that was 4 years ago, 3 years ago. But that dude doesn't want to play. I mean, I might be wrong. He might end up not being a bust, but he has bust-like tendencies, if you ask me. Speaking of our boys up in Utah, Mormon land, they've got the Ducks coming in this weekend, plus 6.5, dog at home against a pretty good Oregon team. I mean, Oregon's been playing pretty well this year. Bo Nix has broken the record for starts. Is it for a quarterback or is it just for a player in general? I think it might just be for any player ever to play college football. I saw something the other day that Bo Nix was at Auburn when Justin Herbert was drafted, and Herbert has since played 56 games in the NFL, and Bo Nix is still in college, and he just made his 56th start, which is pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. Um, I've been riding on Utah all year, and I've doubted it every week. I wish they would just say Cam Rising is playing or Cam Rising is never going to play this year, and they won't do it. He's always on the sidelines, just hanging out. But their backup is a dog. I can't. Is his last name? I'm not gonna try to get his last name right. Y'all might know it. Let me know if you know it. But Utah plus 6.5 at home. This game, looking at its history, they've swapped wins at home. Oregon won last year, Knowlton, and I think the trend continues. I think Utah probably wins this game outright. Plus 6.5. I'll take the points. I'll take the points. Um, Plus 6.5. Over unders at 48. Utah's really really hard to gauge on these over unders because if their defense plays well, you're just not scoring against them. We saw it with UCLA. Oregon State got them at home. I think they scored 21 at home against Utah. Pretty sure they said Rising is out for the season on Sunday. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I mean, I've made risky bets on Utah all year just with the quarterback situation, and they've come through. So I'm gonna ride them one more time, see what happens. Plus 6.5. When I first looked at this game, I thought Oregon was a no doubt lay here, but I'm going with Utah. Going with Utah. I think like 80% of the money's on Oregon, so I think Vegas wants you to hammer that minus 6.5. I think they want you to do it, so I'm gonna let Vegas beat me if they got to. Duke, Louisville. We have been heavy on Duke games this year. Um, we had Duke against Florida State last week. They were in that game the entire game, and Leonard gets hurt. Florida State pulls away at the end. I think it was like 17, maybe more, to finish that game. Um, but yeah, Duke kind of let us down last week. Plus 4.5 here at Louisville. Um, a lot of Duke bets this year. A lot of Notre Dame bets. We had Notre Dame. We had Louisville against Notre Dame. I think they were like plus 6.5 dogs at home against Notre Dame. We had Louisville. They came out with the dub in that one. Um, I like Louisville. I like Louisville at home. Leonard is I mean, I think he's just hurt. I mean, he's hurt, and they might try to keep playing him, but even if he gets in that game, I don't see them. I don't see him lasting very long, and even if he's in, he's not going to be at his full capacity in that game. So I like Louisville minus 4.5 at home. Over under set at 46.5. I probably would go over in this game. Duke's defense is pretty good, especially by their standards. And Louisville, I believe, held NC State to like, I don't even know. It was like 10-3 or something, 13-10, something like that. But Louisville 6-1. I mean, a sneaky 6-1. Um, I like Louisville at home. I like Louisville at home. The 4.5 is kind of scary. I wish it was 3. Um, but I'm gonna go with the birds. I'm gonna go with the birds. Here's my college slate for this week. Hey, if you haven't already, which only one person has, E-Dog, call into the show, 601-706-9475. Let me know what's up. Give me some takes. Give me some picks. Give me something. Give me something. I need it. I need some energy in here. I need somebody to come in with some crazy take. And maybe not cricket. I mean, call in with the cricket, I guess. It is what it is. Yes, Sam, I do have the iPhone ringtone, apparently. I don't know. The Google Voice thing I thought sounded different, but, you know, oh well. Anybody watching hoops tonight? NBA tipping off. Tan, how are your Pacers looking? Um, who all's in here right now? Can't even tell. I wonder if Boudreaux will ever be back. I mean, the guy is just really fallen off. But I think he's kind of scared of our friend from India. I think he thinks he's kind of lost his shine a little bit. Um, feels like he can't. Feels like he's been overshadowed by the cricket man. 601-706-9475. College slate this weekend. I guess Elijah's not in here. He would be giving me hell for this one. I've got Kansas at home +10 against Oklahoma. Oklahoma with a shaky game last week at home against UCF. Now they travel to Kansas. They barely got out alive against UCF. That boy John Reese Plumlee, you might remember him from his Ole Miss days, was balling on him. He was balling on him. Kansas +10 here is wild to me at home. Kansas, pretty good team, pretty solid team. We had them earlier in the year against Texas, and they scratched Jalen Daniels like 10 minutes before the game started, which hurt. It did. It hurt, but I'm ready to give them some redemption here. Um, at +10, I like +10 at home for Kansas. I've got a lot of home dogs this week. I've got NC State home dog +10 against Clemson, and I think Dabo has absolutely lost it. He's lost the locker room. He said their sports psychologist was on suicide watch. Dabo, what are we doing? Can't say that, my man. He blamed the Miami loss, basically blamed it on his quarterback. As we get a call, phone lines are heating up, son. That's loud in my ears. That is loud in my ears. Sandman, what are you doing?
Man, I'm just trying to keep up with NBA.
Who the Pacers got tonight?
They got the Wizards, and they're up by like 25.
Oof, that's brutal. Wizards are pretty bad, huh?
Their Pacers have 141, and the Wizards do have 120 though. So not a whole lot of defense being played, but
Jordan Poole balling?
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he probably got 30 of their points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, I was going to say, I think my spicy take is that Washington might actually be the best team in the country right now. They look really good.
Yeah. I mean, there's no disputing that they're probably the best team in the Pac-12 after USC has just absolutely shat the bed. And then you just can't give the nod to Utah. I love their defense, but without Cam Rising, you can't really say that they're going to go far. Obviously, Oregon is up there with them, but they lose to Washington already. So, I mean, you got to give Washington the nod there. So, yeah, I'm pretty much with you on that. I mean, I think between them and Florida State, do you think Florida State deserves to be in that playoff spot right now over Washington, or would you put Washington there?
I put Washington in, man. I think this year Washington playing in the better conference. The ACC looks like dog shit now.
Without Clemson being anywhere near good, you've got two teams, you know.
And the other team just lost to Virginia, who might be the worst team in Power 5 football. And
you had your other undefeated team lose to Georgia Tech. So if you look at Florida State's schedule and kind of what they've done this year, it's pretty clear that LSU is the obvious, reason they're up there. The LSU win.
Yeah.
The Duke win looks nice because Duke has looked pretty good this year, but Duke could mess around and lose these next few games and be irrelevant, Syracuse is no good. Virginia Tech's no good. Boston College so bad. They beat them by 2 points, and they beat the Mustard Buzzards 66-13. So I would venture to say that Washington has had and definitely will have a better strength of schedule by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at all the big schools like Ohio State, Florida State, both undefeated but have struggled to get not good teams. Like Notre Dame doesn't exactly look good. They took Ohio State down to the wire, and then obviously struggled to get Indiana. So like it's hard to say that they're the best. And then Georgia has looked spotty outside that Kentucky game. And I really think that Washington might be the most complete team. I mean, their offense is so good. Like they've actually played makers around the ball, and Penix is. He would be my Heisman winner for sure. I don't think you can give it to Jalen Daniels just because of the 2 losses. And I know that one of them was Ole Miss in that shootout, but still, I mean, if they just don't really. You have to have like an RG3 type season to be a multi-loss team, and win Heisman. So
Yeah.
I would roll with Penix and the Huskies, but now that I said that, they'll probably lose. They'll probably lose this week. So
They have a tough schedule. They're ending the year with Utah, USC, and Washington State. And Washington State has not been down this year. They've just kind of been consistent with who they've been. They can score points, and they're just kind of scrappy. So,
yeah, they play out with Oregon State. They're good football team for sure.
Yeah, I like Oregon State as well. I think we had them a week or so ago. I don't know where Boudreaux is, Ty, but he doesn't want to give these flaming hot takes like Tan. So, Tan, who's your playoff team right now? Who's your 4 playoff teams right now? You said Washington.
Well, I would. You like right now, or how do I think the season's gonna finish?
Give me the finished product.
The finished product.
Yeah.
I got Washington. I got Texas.
Texas.
I got Michigan, and I've got Georgia.
Okay. I haven't heard Texas. I like that.
I think Texas will beat Oklahoma in the rematch, and that will get them in. And I don't think that Alabama is really gonna be able to push Georgia, even without Brock Bowers. Although they are starting to turn around, but I think that Georgia's gonna have them in the trenches, especially on offense. And so I've got Washington, Texas, Michigan, and
Washington, Georgia,
Yep.
I mean, for as inconsistent as Georgia has been, they're going to turn it on against Alabama at the end, for sure. So, won't have to worry about that.
Yeah. What are the Grizz going to do this year?
I think they're going to be pretty inconsistent, and I think there's a chance they're bad. The chances of them being just good without Ja for these first 25 games is probably not going to happen. But once Ja comes back, they'll probably have a chance at like a 7 or 8 seed, or however they do the seeds now. I think like 12 teams get into the play-in or whatever now. So whatever. Every league is getting so soft with how many teams they let in the playoffs. I mean, let the good teams play in the playoffs and leave the rest to playing their draft picks.
Yeah, I mean, and now that you've done it, you can't walk it back.
Yeah, there's never any walking it back. Yeah, we all want to see the T-Wolves lose to the Nuggets in the first round or whatever. So
4-0.
Yeah.
I mean, those first-round matchups were already not good. Now they're going to be worse.
Yeah, the NBA was trying to pander to like all of the fan bases, and you just don't need to. I mean, if the Knicks stink, the Knicks stink. Don't put them in. If
Yeah.
if the small market
Mine-
teams aren't any good, then you shouldn't give all the money to the teams that I get the cap's a thing, but there's so many ways around the cap. So whatever.
Yeah,
I could rant about the NBA. NBA is no fun anymore. I'll say that.
Yeah, some of those owners just pay the luxury tax anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Pelinka and LeBron can get anyone on their team that they want. LeBron just, the GM just, sometimes he doesn't choose the right guys.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, but I don't know what to think about them this year, but they're both older, like him and Andrew Davis, and they already had a problem staying healthy last year, so I don't know why people think that they're gonna be able to run it back for a full season.
I don't know who all watched the games last night, but KD did not look good in that game.
KD did not.
Man was a brick mason out there. I mean, he was doing, so many fadeaways, like right at the elbow, and he missed every single one of them. I didn't see him make one. So.
Well, he's probably played about 82 games over the last 4 seasons. So, I mean,
he's a slender man. Yeah, he's made of glass.
Ever since he won that last game with the Warriors, my man has not really been on the court that much. So
yeah,
I think that's probably a problem.
Sneaky West team this year, if they can get James Harden, which James Harden wants to go here. I think the Clippers. I think if Kawhi plays this year, and Paul George is playoff P all year, and they get James Harden, I think they're going to be pretty good.
I thought last year they had both of them, they would have beaten the Lakers, but I mean they had neither of their best players, so that's always an issue. But those are also two players that don't ever seem to play that much.
Yeah, Kawhi is a mystery. I mean, what is that guy doing with his time? I don't even know if he goes to the games.
I don't know how somebody can be hurt so much that plays so little.
Coach Prime got him to a Colorado game though, so maybe he's ready to be back in the spotlight.
The robot's ready to rock.
Was that like his laugh?
Him and Paul George both got to be mid-30s by now, so
they got it. If they're gonna win, they need to do it now for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm kind of just hoping the Pacers make the play-in.
Yeah, Halliburton's fun.
Hell is fun, man. He had like 20 in the first half tonight, and then he started passing the ball a whole lot.
One of the craziest shot forms in the NBA is Halliburton's. He chunks that bit.
Yeah. It is concerning that they drafted the guy 6, and he just didn't play tonight.
Yeah. You'd like to see that guy play. You'd like to see him play, for sure.
Yeah, I thought he was good enough to make a thing. We'd like for him to get in.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, Tan.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, brother.
All right.
Yeah.
That was Tan the man. Little college football, little NBA. Gotta love it. Let's see. Yeah, back to my slate. We said Louisville minus 4.5, Utah plus 6.5 at home. Mississippi State, Auburn under 43.5. Florida, Georgia over 47.5. I like UNC, Georgia Tech over 63.5. UNC is coming off the loss to Virginia or Virginia Tech. Either way, a bad team. I think they're going to try to mercy rule Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech can score. They've scored this year. And then a little sneaky one here at the end. I've got Arizona plus 3.5. Filifano, Arizona's quarterback. He did not play against State, but they kind of just let him ball the last couple weeks. They just blew out somebody. Let me see. They almost beat USC. Everyone remembers that. But they just blew out Washington State at home, on the road at Washington State, 44-6. So That's pretty nuts. So I like Arizona plus 3.5. Getting a call. You're on Cashin.
Hello, my friend. This is
What's
Rajesh.
up, Rajesh? How are you doing, man?
I'm ready to place my bet, but I need some information. What do you think about this, the Victor Wimjama?
Yeah, his wingspan, unreal. Um, his English, suspect. He's a French guy, I believe.
My English no good either.
Oh, it's okay.
It's
It's okay. I was kind of upset when you said put all your money on Dabo last week. That kind of hurt.
I lost lots of money.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Keynes was the call on that one. But I like Wimbignana. Wimby. We'll call him Wimby. I think he's going to be good. Rookie of the year. Put your bet in.
Do you think he is as good as the Giannis and the comp? Oh,
I don't think he's going to be as physically dominant as Giannis. But people are comparing him to like a KD that plays defense. Familiar with KD?
or who?
The Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant.
The Twitter master.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So, you think he can be very good on the burner accounts?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Wemby is gonna have some solid Twitter fingers, or X. Sorry, Elon. It's X now. That's a good point. I haven't thought about Wemby's burner account usage. Although he had that crazy run-in with Britney Spears. You familiar with her work?
No, hit me, baby, one more time.
You got it. You nailed it. What were your thoughts on all that debacle?
Or she really said, "Oops, I did it again."
She did, didn't she? She did, didn't she?
Yes.
Well, what else is going on?
Do you think the Diamondbacks are going to win?
Yeah,
Or do you like the Rangers?
talked about it a little bit. I would love for the Diamondbacks to win. I think the Rangers are probably the better team, but you never know. You a big seam head? You like
Corbin
baseball?
Carroll is very fast.
He is. He is. I think he had a couple stolen bases last night, at least one.
If we learn anything from the Miami Dolphins, the speed wins.
Speed kills, they say.
But it also breaks, as in the case of like every other receiver drafted into the NFL.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to get your take on the India-England ICC World Cup match on Sunday. I mean, England's playing this week. They've got a game Wednesday or Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yes, India on the full week of rest.
That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, I think England's probably going to be gassed going into that game, huh?
My question is, what happened to England? You know, they're the originator of their sport, and they're so bad.
When you run into teams like India, I mean, it's hard to compete. It's kind of like, I mean, I'm interested. Do you think India will be competing in the flag football events at the Olympics in a few years?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It depends, you know. We do not have many to the football field.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they would start recruiting like cricket players and the top athletes in India to kind
They
of?
will not take the cricket players away from the cricket. No, don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Apologies. I know cricket is the main sport in India. Would you say cricket's the main
Maybe
sport?
the rugby team.
The rugby team. That would make sense. I mean, that would be the easiest transition, right?
Yeah, the rugby team not as good as the cricket team.
So, what's your prediction for the World Series?
The World Series or the World Cup? We talk about both.
Let's do both. World Series first.
Oh, okay. So World Series, I reckon go the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
They're taking Diamondbacks in 4 clean sweep.
I didn't catch that last part, but I agree.
Diamondbacks in 4.
Oh,
Clean
sweep.
sweep.
Clean sweep. Okay.
Clean sweep.
I like it. All right. What about the ICC? I mean, how long is the ICC World Cup? It seems like it's been going on for months.
To be real in the beginning, we're still in the group stage now. India number 1.
Oh, it's group stage still?
Ye-
Oh man. How
That is
long
my prediction.
how long does the ICC World Cup go on?
As long as they like to play cricket.
Okay. Okay. We have people in the comments asking your name one more time. You're a legend on the show.
Rajesh,
Rajesh, Sam, it's Rajesh. Rajesh, anything else you want to cover?
no. What is your Halloween costume?
I've really been mulling that over. I'm not entirely sure. I have a 2-month-old daughter. We're thinking we're going to dress her up as a dinosaur, and we're going to be Jurassic Park as a family. What's yours?
Oh, I will not be dressing up for Halloween.
Not a Halloween guy?
I must and I'm no, not in India. No.
Oh, is that like a forbidden thing?
No, I just don't do it.
Okay. Okay. If you could dress up for Halloween, what would you be?
Victor Duran Bitan
Oh,
Bidama.
you'd be Victor Mignano. Okay. Perfect. Rajesh, thank you, sir. You're always a pleasure.
Thank you. Candy corn trucks.
Candy corn does suck. I concur. I'm glad we could agree on something, Rajesh. Another great call from the man from a distant land, Rajesh. Always with the heater. Outstanding stuff. 601-706-9475. Call into the show. Rajesh is really expanding his horizons. I mean, the first time I spoke to him, I assumed he was just the biggest cricket fan in the world. But it seems now that he's venturing off into other sports. I don't really know what he wanted out of the Victor Wembanyama question, but whatever. I want him to start giving me some college football picks. I think that'd be pretty funny. But he's got the Diamondbacks, so in the World Series, clean sweep. He said, clean sweep. I do not. I ran out of time this week, so I do not have game by game NFL stuff. I do have my slate here. I encourage whoever wants to call in for NFL stuff to call in. I don't know if Alex is on. He's been our NFL analyst so far this year. Boudreaux never called in. I know Ty asked about him. Don't know where he's at, man. I think Boudreaux might be gone. I think we might have lost Boudreaux. Johnny Reb called in the one time to talk a little smack towards Boudreaux, and then Boudreaux kind of tucked his tail. Rajesh has really stolen the show. I mean, I need to fly Rajesh in, get him to host, honestly, at this point. I think the numbers would blow up. But yeah, I've got my NFL slate pulled up, I think. Yeah. Alex, if you're out there, you can call in and give us your spiel. I don't know how you did last week, but good God, Dakota, the swamps are hard to navigate. Yeah, last I heard on Boudreaux was he got in a nasty Piro accident. Few too many Miller Lights, and the Piro went in the bayou. So he's gonna make his return for the Bama game. Yeah, I could see that. Here comes the NFL talk. Everyone lock in for the NFL talk, okay? Alex spends a lot of time. He makes notes, okay? This is a true NFL insider calling in right now. All right. Alex.
To accept, press 1.
Oh,
To send a
God.
voicemail,
Oh,
press
God.
2.
Oh, God. Did I miss the call? Oh, no. Call back in, Alex. That's on me, brother. That's on me. You know. Sorry. Sometimes I'm an old man yelling at a cloud while dealing with this technology. Call back in. Sorry. Radio silence. Oh, I just hung up on him again. Oh, no. Okay. Work.
Cashin.
Oh, yeah. There he is.
Had some technical difficulties.
Well, I was hyping you up. I think I let it ring too long while I was hyping you. And just all
I
out
was
hung
about to
up
leave
on
you a
you.
voicemail with all the pictures.
No. We can't do that. We can't do that.
I'm staring at your slate, and I think I agree with you on a few.
Okay, let's get into it. Somebody give some NFL picks in the chat. Where is John Merritt? I mean, the guy watches 1 second of this and then logs off.
He tunes in for the intro.
Yeah, like he watches the least entertaining part, then just logs off. And I want picks. John is actually a sharp, and people don't realize this. When you see this man, John Merritt, comment on the first nanosecond of the show, this guy bets on virtual horse racing, and he doesn't share picks on the show. He tried one time. He sent it in like
Not
a
only virtual
haiku.
horse, virtual camel.
Yeah, camel races, greyhound races. The guy's a degenerate. And he logs into the show for 7 seconds, doesn't say anything. What did he say today? Let me see what his first comment. When does the bass drop? That's all he said. He logged out. We talked about the Frozen Frenzy for a second, but then he was gone. So anyway, our boy Aham is here, NFL insider, basically Adam Schefter. So let's get into the slate.
You can use that insider term very loosely after my week last.
NFL, as usual, extremely tough this year. I mean, these
Volatile.
professional athletes just decide when they're going to play. But anyway,
As Stephon Diggs would say, he feels bad whenever he messes up our parlays.
I'm sure he feels real bad. Yeah, sure he feels real bad. That was a funny tweet, though.
Thursday game, I'm staying away. Bucks, Bills. The Bills hurt my feelings the other day, and I'm going to stay away for a while.
Yeah, that's a big line for them to have just lost.
To a bad team.
Yeah, I'm staying away as well. It is Thursday night, so I'll probably bet on it, but yes.
There might be some player props that would be worth looking at, but I'm not going into all that. That's too many things. I do like the Eagles against the Commanders. I know the Commanders gave the Eagles fits and was their only loss last year for the first of the season, but the Commanders, what's his name, is getting sacked at an all-time rate at this moment.
Sam Howell.
Like he's pretty close to beating the record from last year, which was Justin Fields. And it's only halfway through the season. He's a couple games away from just taking it away.
On that note, it's pretty nuts that we're already having the second divisional matchup already with these two teams, and with the Dolphins and the Pats are playing for the second time.
Yes, that is wild that we're on the second round of that at this point. But I think the Eagles are kind of, after last week, they're feeling good and kind of getting in rhythm, and their defense is pretty. They have a good defensive line, so they're going to be coming after. I already forgot his name, so I'm just
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell. Well, they're going to be coming after him. He's getting sacked at least 5 times on Sunday, so I think they win by a touchdown, probably somewhat easily.
Yeah, Sam just said Falcons Titans over, which is one of the lowest numbers I've ever seen for an
Falcons
NFL
are in the
game.
I'm gonna disagree. Okay.
It's
The Titans.
35 and a half, which is one of the lowest NFL numbers I think I've ever seen. Not saying that it won't, go
Yeah,
under,
I
but
bet the under on that.
yeah, I mean 35 is that's an Iowa college
I got it
football
at
line.
37.5.
37's probably safe too. I mean, Falcons didn't look terrible last week against the Bucks, but I think even that was like 13-10.
Yeah, both of these teams are run heavy, which makes the clock go by. Obviously, I don't have to tell people that, but that's just a.
What do you think?
Fine.
What do you think of the two QB system Vrabel's running out there this week? I mean,
It's gonna be bad.
yeah, it can't be good, right? I mean, I'm assuming what we're gonna see is a lot of like RPO stuff from Malik, and maybe some more like pro style offense from Levis. I mean, is that
I
the
guess
guess? I don't know.
I'm just hoping to see Derrick Henry line up in Wildcat about 8 to 10
Hand
times.
Derrick Henry the ball. I don't understand. I guess they think he has too many miles on him, and they're kind of like saving him for later in the season. But what's there to save at this point? They're 2-4. If you want to win, you got to give him the ball.
Yeah, he's gonna bust one loose every 8 to 10 plays. So just feed him and it'll happen. Like it's only a matter of time. But I think they're gonna do that this week, hopefully at home. And that's gonna make the game just go by very quickly. And both teams are gonna be pretty poor offensively, and both teams are pretty above average defensively. So I think that goes for a low-scoring game. I'm not taking the spread either way because, look, I'm not going to bet against the Titans, but without Tannehill, we're somehow just way worse. So
yeah, I mean Titans at home has been kind of lockish this year. They're home dogs in this one, so I lean Titans as much as like it doesn't make sense. I think Braves just gets the boys going at home.
Yeah, if Tannehill was playing, I would say lock it in, but I can't trust Malik or Levis.
I'm not going to bet on it, but yes, I agree with what you're saying. But again, what you said a second ago, Buffalo -9 is freaking nuts to me. Tampa Bay's not that bad.
Yeah, I would want to bet the Bucks, but I'm staying away.
I'll probably get on them just for funsies, but I just don't see why. I guess people think Buffalo's on a. I mean, they're going to trend up after getting smacked around a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Josh Allen has been a little bit sporadic this year, and he was last year too with interceptions and stuff. But the team overall looked better last year. I will take a note of your second pick up there, Steelers home dog with Mike Tomlin.
Steeler home dog is a lock. I don't care if it even loses, it's still a lock. Like if it lost, it'd still be a lock. I don't care.
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, you might as well ride it to the
Just,
if it's the
yeah.
same thing the next week, do it again, even if it fails.
They keep making them home dogs, and I'm gonna keep hammering it until something changes.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat LA on the road last week, which is honestly pretty impressive. They're back home.
Yeah, they've won some games that they have no business winning, so I think this is going to be another one.
Pickens is really good. I mean, Pickens is a really good receiver. I mean, he's to be doing what he's doing with Kenny Pickett at quarterback is pretty nuts.
Yes, he's a menace to the league. That's for sure.
He's a menace to society, even.
If he was in society on a normal basis, it would not be a good thing for society. Luckily, he is constrained to the practice facilities in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, not much to do in Pittsburgh, honestly. So.
I see you got Colts up there. You're riding with our boy, but I'm staying way, way away from that. Both of these teams are just you can flip a coin for how they're going to play week to week.
Colts have been like sneaky good at home. Like almost beat the Browns last week. Put up a lot of points against the top-ranked defense in the NFL. Gardner's playing pretty well in that offense, and Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor splitting carries worked really good for them. Obviously,
yeah, they look great last.
Yeah, I mean they don't have to play as well defensively against the Saints. I mean the Saints' offense is a dumpster fire.
Right.
So
I think if they can match their performance from last week, they'll definitely walk away with the dub.
with them
Gardner
being
put two
home
rushing
dogs,
touchdowns.
I think you got to lean Indianapolis. Just the way the Saints have really just started to plummet.
Yeah, I like your pick, but I'm staying away. Like, if I was going to have to, I would do that, but I'm gonna stay away.
Respectable. Sam's right. That was the best game last week. Browns Colts. Wouldn't have thought that going into it, but yes, it was.
Certainly not. You don't have. I see the Texans are at the Panthers. The Panthers are very bad.
They're bad. I think their defense is good. And I don't think the Texans' offense is all that great. CJ Stroud's been playing well, no doubt. When I saw that game, I leaned Houston as well. But I just don't know if we're going to see a 0-win team in the NFL this year.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like the freshman quarterback matchup of both of the rookies, and
I would take CJ Stroud
think
for
CJ Stroud
sure.
is
Yeah.
way better. That's kind of just what I'm basing on. Really.
That's a good thought. Yeah, that's a good thought. Thoughts on Chris Olave saying, but I play for the Saints. Yeah, the cop just saying and is an all-time disrespectful move. But I guess, yeah, that was a tough look. Some will remember when Marcelo Zuna got a DUI while playing for the Braves. He said he has pretty broken English, but he was like, I am Ozuna from the Braves. And the cop was like, I do not care who you are. So always a tough look when you try to stunt on the cops. They don't seem to.
Sounds about like me going 94 and a 70 on the way to a heart transplant. And the cop says, I don't care.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter who you are.
Or our boy ZB just saying I'm a famous musician. Probably the worst of the three we listed.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
You can't say you're famous in any way, shape, or form. They're just gonna want to give you a ticket more. I feel like
they're gonna disrespect you for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Onward. I love the Vikings this week.
Same. I don't know why. I think they're just trending up. I think the Packers are trending way down. Jordan Love looked like a freaking monster week one, and now he sucks. I mean, he's bad.
Kirk is clicking. If you've watched the quarterback documentary on Netflix, his brain waves are finally lining up to play football.
He got another NBC game ball. I mean, the dude's a monster.
Primetime Kirk is elite. And this isn't prime time, but I think the only reason that it's not worse is because it's at Green Bay.
Right.
I think the spread would be a bit bigger. They're giving that help there. But I think the Vikings are kind of clicking, even without Jay Jettas. I think they're going to be fine. They played so good on Monday.
I mean, Green Bay's lost to two of the worst teams in the league. They've lost to Vegas and Denver back-to-back weeks.
They look so bad versus the Broncos, so I'm confident in Kirk over this team. If Russell can do it, then Kirk can get it done.
Spider in my house. Red alert. I have no defense against the spider. He could literally come and get me at any moment. I can't move out of this chair. Continue. I also love the Vikings. I think, like you said, Kirk's just trending up. Is Jetta still hurt this week, or is he going to come back?
I think he's going to be out for a few games. So
didn't need him.
Kirk did a good job of spreading the ball around, though.
Madison, is that his name?
Yeah.
He's good. No, that's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the Addison. And Cam Akers.
They have a Madison.
Yeah, shouts to Cam Akers. He got a lot of carries Monday night and looked pretty good.
He was toting that thing.
He took that Clinton's very own. Florida State's very own. Shouts Jacob.
Let's see. I don't think I have that many more. I'm staying away from Browns Seahawks. I don't want to touch it. I'm staying away from Bengals 49ers, absolutely.
I missed the spider.
That should be an interesting game to kind of see if the 49ers get right. They are looking tough.
Sam Darnold's playing, right?
For the 49ers?
That's what somebody said in our group text.
No. News to me. Breaking.
Breaking news right here. Let me see. Yeah, Purdy is questionable.
Well, that was no news to me. I didn't bet on this game, so I get a pass for not knowing
Okay,
that.
okay. Fair.
Yeah. Once again, not touching the Eileen Bengals, if that's the news. They're plus 3.5, and the 49ers are kind of falling off the edge of the face of the earth, so we'll see. I think the Ravens looked obviously phenomenal against the Lions, but I was scared of 8.5. That's a lot.
I'm not touching 8.5. Josh Dobbs is honestly decent.
Yeah. I think it's kind of the thing where the Cardinals looked like they could beat a few teams at the beginning of the season, and now they're showing true form and just being awful. But I think there's flashes of things, and the NFL is too spotty for 8.5.
Tanner said Darnold's going to cook.
I don't know what he's intending on cooking, but it's not going to be the Bengals.
Chargers minus 8.5 against the Bears is pretty wacky.
That seems like an overreact.
2-win team, like they both have 2 wins. I don't know if old Fields is back. I don't know what's going on. That's a wild noise.
I think he is going. I don't know, but that's again too many points, especially for the Chargers. I would lean Bears, but I'd stay away from that game also. I might change my mind on Sunday afternoon when Carrie Underwood starts singing. But
waiting all day for Sunday night. Monday Night Football is gonna suck. Detroit, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with your phone, but it is making Velcro noises, unreal noises coming out of your end right now.
Okay, last thing before I go. He's 7.5.
All right. I'm gonna hang up because I don't know what's coming out of your phone right now. Unreal amount of noises coming out of his phone right then. I think he said Chiefs. To end it. I don't know if anyone else could hear that. Maybe that was just me, but it sounded like the strongest Velcro in the world being ripped apart. Yeah, that was a wild noise. Okay. Yeah, Colts +1, Steelers +2.5, Giants +3 against the Jets in MetLife. I got the New England Miami under 46.5. I think most people would probably lean over there just with Miami, but and the Patriots played pretty good offense last week. But this is their second meeting, and I think Belichick's going to have the boys reined in a little bit. Man was zipping up and down his hoodie, yeah, no doubt. Vikings -1, like we said. And Rams, Dallas over 45. Yeah. Yep. Okay. That's it for me, unless someone else wants to call in 601-706-9475. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their week. I have just chugged a Diet DP and a Quad Express here live on the air. You're seeing me fight the biggest piss demons in the world. I have to pee so bad. But if you want to call in and torture me, you can, 601-706-9475. I'm going to leave it open for one more minute if you want to torture me with a call right now. I will talk to you. I love it. Let's win some money this week. I lost my underdog bet by like 1 rebound from Kristaps Porzingis. I hate him. Hate him so much. It was $5 to win $375. If you're not on the Underdog app, hop on there. No free ads. But it's just fun to hear what everybody's doing on there. So I kind of like it. I like having an Underdog community. Hey, if you haven't already, like the video. I don't know what everyone's waiting on. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Call in if you'd like right now. And I will leave it open for just a sec. Rajesh, another great call from Rajesh. Alex, great info. Wild noises coming from Alex. Tan called in with the Heat. Ethan with the Ole Miss road to the playoff. So some interesting calls tonight and some solid comments. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. I'm gonna sign off. Peace. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, 7:30. I feel like we've gotten into a good groove with Wednesdays. Peace out.